So what happens when you have a fire team of 6 friends doing the raid and have to boot 2 players for the Crucible? As fans of the first game might well know, one of the biggest changes to the game has seen the Crucible multiplayer mode drop to 4-on-4 player combat. Essentially, that's a decrease of 1/3 of players from Destiny, which supported up to 6-on-6 multiplayer gaming. Okay, it's something that players will get the chance to experience for themselves firsthand with the Destiny 2 beta launching tomorrow and available to play for the next few days until July 23rd. Just before the game's release, Daily Star had a chance to talk to Lars Bakken, who is the Crucible design lead for Bungie, and they were discussing the impact it will have on players, why he believes it's the best for the game moving forward, and his message to any player still unconvinced by the game's bold move. Now, Lars Bakken explained those controversial Destiny 2 multiplayer changes, improving the game and the internal concerns they had leading up to the beta. So the first question was, what was the primary motivation behind the big Crucible change to 4-on-4 player combat? Now, Lars Bakken replied, so when we looked at what was important to us in the Crucible for Destiny 2, we tossed around words like teamwork, consistency, competition. Now these are really important to us. They became the pillars of what we wanted the game to be like when the players talked about it. And every road we went down as we were making the game, where we wanted to improve the teamwork, consistency and competitiveness, it led us to 4-on-4, and the honest answer is it just feels right. So basically they're saying 4-on-4 feels more right than what it does with 6-on-6. Okay, now I'm not sure how much I agree with that, but then he further goes on to explain everything is working towards making the game that fits well within what we already had with Destiny, but is more team focused. So there's going to be less of these solo players running around. Okay, it is going to be more team orientated, more team focused, and I think in my opinion it is going to be much better 4-on-4. However, the interview continues. Okay, so the second question was, okay, but equally, changing something so significant to players, which also removes game modes in the process, there must have been some reservations. To which Lars Bakken replied, of course, I mean there's a lot of people that internally were like, why would you change this thing that people obviously enjoy? The answer is, even though we created something that we know millions of people loved, I was never happy with what we created, and I always wanted to make something better. So it was easy for us to talk about how we can make this better. Okay, he further explains, like, how can we make this for people who really enjoy PvP? Because I think with Destiny 1, we talked about it in a way where it was important for everyone who wanted to play anything. It was like, come on in, let's give everyone a big hug. Basically what he's saying is, when they were designing Destiny 1, they were designing it with everybody in mind. They wanted the PvE players, the casual explorers, and the PvP players. So they tried to cater to every section of the gaming community. Okay, but this one, it's more PvP orientated. That doesn't sound too good for the PvE players. However, let's continue. The other question that was asked was there not also a worry that you stated you wanted to make the game all about community, but some players will have to rotate out? For instance, friends might complete a 6-man raid, but 2 have to get booted if they want to play in the Crucible. To which Lars Bakken replied, it's absolutely a concern, but when you need to make a change, sometimes there are bones that need to be broken, and that can be painful. Ouch! But if that's the best thing for the experience, sometimes you have to do that in order to give the game a focus and the necessity of what is going to give the player the best possible experience. We've created for 8 players, that is our target, and it allows us to do this really great thing as developers to say, hey, every map or mode we create, we know the target number of players. Ouch, that hurt. So no more 6v6 in the PvP. Okay, and the last question that was asked is, as the PvP lead, if you were able to talk directly to those people who are unsure about the change, what would you say to them if they have their doubts? Now the Lars Bakken replied, I think my real answer to them is that Destiny is a complex game. There are a lot of things that players have access to at any given time. For players that are uneasy, I want them to know the entire changes are built around players first, whether they're good at Crucible or not. Our aim is that if they want to learn, we want them there. We want to welcome all players with open arms and have them there. Though that this experience is going to be way more understandable, way more consistent, way more learnable than anything we've done in the past. But it's still going to feel like Destiny. I hope you people give it a chance, because I do believe it's the best Crucible offering we've ever had in Destiny, and I think it's the most learnable Crucible we've ever had, and I think that's good for all players, even those who are nervous about the player changes. Okay, so he's been really honest with his answers. He's not tried to sugarcoat anything. He's given his honest opinion about, even though you may have to kick friends, okay, it's something that you'd have to deal with, even though it's painful. Ouch. Okay, so there you have it, guys. That's the honest reply from Lars Bakken just before the beta drops on the 18th of July. One more sentence that he did say before the interview finished was that while you fight for your very survival in these 3 core activities, we'll monitor the technology that brings us all together. There will be fun and games, but make no mistake, this is a test. Which essentially goes to say that they are testing it, and if it's not working out, they may change it. Even though I highly doubt it. Once the game's in beta stage, they've done a considerable amount of work towards it, and I don't think they'll change anything now. Maybe Destiny 3, or maybe in the big update coming up next year or something like that. But essentially, it is going to be 4v4 for the next year or so. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Please put a like if you think I've passed any news on to you, and subscribe to this channel for more of the similar videos. I am going to be doing this, bringing you all the latest Destiny news on a regular basis now. So thank you for watching, guys, and take care.